Good morning, everybody. Another nice, cool, refreshing morning, but unfortunately, this is going to be the last of our mornings like this for a while. Humidity starting to increase as we get later into the day today, so our morning lows much less comfortable, and even our afternoons are going to get hotter and muggier. So enjoy this while you can. Let me show you the numbers from the LCRA sensors across central Texas this morning. We thought this would be the case, but it's played out. Not quite as cool as yesterday morning, but still really nice. We had some 50s here over parts of Gillespie County, even over our usual cool wind-protected spots in northwest Travis. Temperatures dropped into the upper 50s. I'm looking for the coolest number. I see some 57s out there. So, a few mid to upper 50s, but mainly it was low to mid 60s this morning. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to have mainly upper 60s and low 70s as this warming trend takes hold. This afternoon, still a relatively dry heat, but it's definitely heat. I have 96 in the forecast for Austin. Low to mid 90s will be widespread across central and south central Texas. Here's a closer look at our neck of the woods. Mid 90s or so along and east of I-35, low to mid 90s more so as you go west into the hill country. All right, still it's a very quiet forecast pattern, so we'll just kind of get right into some of the extended stuff here. This is the national blend of models for the next 10 days, and there's just not a lot that you can say about that, man. Afternoons will just be consistently mid to upper 90s. Now, I don't really see any triple digits. We'll have a couple days that get kind of up into danger territory up close to it, but I think in the official forecast we'll keep triple digits off the board for now. Then you can see these mornings, it's not like a sweltering, late July morning where we're like in the high 70s, but the 60s will be gone for most. Will be in the low 70s for these mornings. The reason for this, again, is because the humidity will be increasing. So on this top graph here, you can see temperature and the dew point is the green line. So our dew point's swinging upwards, and we're going to, for the most part, keep those dew point temperatures above 60 degrees. So that's going to have us in a muggier air mass. Then as far as temperature, down here, look at this, just nothing. Again, it's basically a completely dry forecast for the next 7 to 10 days. So just not a whole lot we can say. I know parts of the hill country had some heavy rain back over the weekend, but we still have some moderate drought over the I-35 corridor in the Austin metro. So still we're in need of some rain. Obviously, we don't want flooding or anything too crazy, but we're in need of some rain, and I think this is going to be a drier stretch here for the next 1 to 2 weeks, where maybe those moderate drought conditions could grow and expand a little bit. Today is September 10th. I point that out because September 10th is the climatological peak of the hurricane season, and there is nothing, literally completely quiet, no tropical activity expected in the Atlantic over the next 7 days. And then as you go over to the Pacific, it has been more active. There's a new wave here off the west coast of Mexico, which has a high chance of development, and then Kiko, which is passing close to, but it looks like just north of the Hawaiian Islands. As we go back over to the Atlantic Basin and we look at the extended forecast, so I know this map looks kind of crazy. I wish they gave us a better way to visualize this, but week 2, September 17th through 23rd, and week 3, September 24th through 30th, global tropical hazards. So here in this week 2, they've got a low chance of tropical development here over the Caribbean into the Gulf, especially the southwestern Gulf, and then up to medium chance of development over the MDR, the main development region of the Atlantic, and then likewise kind of these same 2 zones with a low chance of development as we go into week 3, which is again September 24th through September 30th. So I do expect at some point, there's still so much warm water out there. There's just also been a lot of wind shear that's prevented these storms from developing. I do think as we get into the back half of September, odds are we'll have a couple more systems that develop. Now, do these threaten land? Do they come to Texas? Who knows? But just to show you, just because it's quiet now, at the peak of hurricane season, there's still a lot of runway left, especially through late September and October. All right, extended temperature outlook, 6 to 10 day outlook. This is from 9/15, September 15th through September 19th. Remember, a good chunk of the eastern third of the U.S. got this kind of early, false fall, and now this big tongue of warm air is pushing down southward, or pushing northward, I should say. So here in central Texas, we have a high likelihood of above average temperature. So again, for us, that's going to look like a lot of mid to upper 90s. And then the 6 to 10 day precip outlook is still favoring us in the slightly below normal precipitation. So As we go into our long range models, there's just, I mean, like literally nothing to talk about here. So here's the European model, mid upper 90s, and this would take us all the way through September 24th. Here's the GFS model. Maybe it's picking up on something like a slight cool down as we get into, you know, the 24th, 25th of this month, but mainly it's got high 90s and maybe some triple digits. And then you guys know how I roll, like the national blend of models. So I'm thinking at least mid to upper 90s for afternoons and mornings in the 70s with no major chance of rain over the next 7 days. So that's it, quiet as can be. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. I'll keep another update on the forecast coming for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll do another update Friday. And then next week, my wife and I are going to see her family in Georgia. We've got back-to-back weddings in Atlanta, so we're going to stay in Georgia for a week and maybe drive back to Alabama to see my family too. So I'm going to be out next week. Looks like the weather will be quiet, but obviously we can get some videos posted if anything ramps up. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to y'all later.